Hello everyone, welcome to the Sigma 3 Survival channel, and today I wanted to take a little bit of time and just kind of discuss the different wool products that are available on the market. All the different price ranges, stuff that's available, kind of the competition, all the kind of favorite name brands that I have used or purchased over the years or are very popular in general. So first thing I'll do is just kind of start with our weather wool stuff, just because that's obviously, what I'm biased towards. I love weather wool. I think it's superior. And I've owned all these other companies, or most of these other companies, and have got to use them in the field and just kind of wanted to relay my experience and the difference in the product and what you're paying for. So you can kind of see the range of stuff that they have available here on the website. We have the same stuff over here on our website. We're also real big on Fjallraven if you haven't been introduced to them. But anyways, weather wool has a lot of stuff available. And the price range is, around $400 upwards of, mouton jackets, which are the most luxurious, piece of thing you'll ever put on your body that you could wear anywhere it's cold. I mean, from the Arctic Circle to, frozen streets of Manhattan, it wouldn't matter. So I'll just kind of go through. The Alzanorak is the, kind of most popular. Obviously, I've talked about that a whole bunch. The shirt jack and the hoodie are kind of the two cheaper options. Same weight, same material, just different kind of fit and different kind of look. I'm not a huge fan of wool ponchos, so I'm not going to really cover that. All-around jacket, amazing jacket, double yoked, just amazing material. You can look at William Meyer's review video, and there's a few other guys out there that have linked their videos and some of our videos. And you can take a look at what they had to say about it. A lot of different stuff available here. So you can also go over here and take a look and see the difference in this company's wool and the other companies that are available. Everyone else is using run-of-the-mill wool, which, starting out price is, 65 cents a pound, whereas weather wool is using quality of stuff that is, $3 to $4 a pound. So their price is, for just basic raw materials, is 5 times higher due to the quality of stuff that they use. So you can kind of read over some of this stuff in their website, but let me jump into some of the other stuff that's out there on the market. This is the Leicester River 100% wool Boreal shirt. This is made of basically shrunken wool blankets. It's a very nice anorak. I own one. It is got some features about it that are unique, like the center pocket divider here. It's got this neck coverage area. But in general, this is an extraordinarily rough wool. This is not something that feels good against your skin. It's not something that's comfortable to wear without base layers. You need to have base layers on it. So it basically limits this shirt to use in only colder conditions due to the fact that it doesn't have ventilation on the side, so all that heat is built up, especially when you're moving around and active. And another thing that I don't like is, and I'm not sure what they call this, but this added, neck garment piece that almost kind of acts like a gaiter. To me, prohibits ventilation, prevents you from cooling off, because your neck is one of those areas that you'll cool off the quickest because your blood is very close to your skin there. So ventilation options are non-existent. This is also a very cheap wool in comparison. Most of the price that you're paying here is for the hand tailoring, hand making of it. You're not paying a lot for the actual wool itself. Another company, King of the Mountain, or Sleeping Indian USA, they're a very popular wool company, 100% wool products. You'll notice that their prices are, between $400 and $700 for most of their stuff. But if you take a closer look, you'll notice that this company also produces a very rough wool. And you can tell that by looking at linings. Companies that put linings in their jackets do so because their wool is so rough that it will irritate your skin, cause allergic outbreaks, things of this nature. There's a ginormous difference between rough wool and a fine suit quality type wool that you can wear against your skin, and you're going to pay for it. So the wool that this company is using is probably at least 3 to 4 times cheaper than Weather Wool's base material. It has linings around the cuffs, around the neck, and in different areas. And the reason that becomes important is because, one, you want to be able to wear your wool without a base layer, and two, if you ever got soaking wet, that material around your neck is going to freeze and it's going to stay wet, indefinitely until you can dry it out next to a fire. So it really just, in my opinion, degrades the performance of the wool product itself for people who are in really harsh conditions. Now, if you're just a weekend camper, bushcrafter, you just like to go out hunting, then this stuff's going to do you fine. It's not, necessarily for extreme because of the fact that they use linings and things like that, but it is a good product, and I'm sure that you would be entirely satisfied with it. Lined hooded sweatshirt from King of the Mountain. I also own this jacket, or at least I did in the past. It is another jacket that has linings, has very rough wool. You'll notice that these knitted cuffs, those are either made from an acrylic or some type of cotton fiber, so you got the same issues with this company that you do with Sleeping Indian. Filson is also a fantastic wool manufacturer. A lot of my friends have been on the Alone show, have worn their wool, and had a lot of great things to say about it. It is a rougher type of wool, just like all the other companies that we mentioned. So that's kind of the one main comparison between Weather Wool and everybody else, is that they just use wool that is way more expensive and better feeling, more durable, better performance. And so that's where that extra cost comes from. Filson, they've got a long line of products, and you're looking at $400 to $600 for a really quality jacket from them. And what's interesting is the same people that stitch up Filson, Better Team USA, which I made a video about the other day, is the same people that make Weather Wool. Better Team USA also does Woolrich and a bunch of other big name, companies that you've heard of out there. Empire Woolen Canvas. I own their camp coat. I've obviously been through a lot of wool in my 10 years of instructing as a survival instructor, and so I've tried a little bit of everything. The camp coat is pretty good. This is the same company that originally designed the Boreal shirt, and I guess they sold the licensing rights to Leicester River, and they don't produce it anymore, but it's the same quality of wool. Very, very rough. I personally did not like the fitting in the shoulders and the arms in the Empire Woolen Canvas. The buttons were okay, but it was just very kind of uncomfortable to wear in general in comparison to some of the other stuff that I had due to fit and the rough texture of the overall product. Another company that's come out recently, Silent Predator, they're newer, cheaper. They also use rough wool. You'll notice that they've got linings around the neck. They've got cheaper zippers. They've got knitting around the waist, which is either acrylic or cotton. So it is a cheaper option. You're going to have some performance downgrades. It's not going to be anything that you're going to wear except to go hunting or in snowstorms, whereas with the Weather Wool stuff, like I keep saying, I wear this stuff like 3 days a week. I wore it in New York City. I got pictures of me in Times Square. I've got, pictures of me in, expensive dinners and, fancy 5-star restaurants wearing Weather Wool stuff, and I don't stick out and I get compliments about it. Whereas companies like this or any of the other ones that I mentioned is pretty much only outdoor gear. It's really, you're not going to use it for anything else. Another company, Vormy, not one that I've had a whole lot of chance to test. You'll see that their prices are $300 to $600 for jackets, and theirs is more of a performance technical hiking fabric than it is like a true kind of bomb-proof wool. This is meant for layering for backpackers and hikers and people who are very active. It's not going to be something that's going to keep you very warm if you're sedentary or in a camp setting, which is what a lot of bushcrafters and survivalists tend to be doing a lot, is hanging out around their camp. Then you've got Columbia, and this is by far the cheapest wool that you can get out there. And there's a lot of guys who've owned this stuff. Dave Canterbury was wearing this stuff for a while. He's also now wearing weather wool. He's been running the trap line, and he's got, posting pictures. And I was the one that kind of set the two companies up. I just figured someone who loved wool as much as I do, like Dave, would appreciate it. And, sure enough, he's out there, using it in the field and loves it just like I do. But we've both been fans of this Columbia gear. Now it's changed. They've knocked the prices way down because they're discontinuing this line. You won't find it for sale in very many places. And it performed well. I've got 2 jackets, a vest, a hat, a pair of pants, like basically everything they ever made in the Gallatin line I own. And it's been okay. It is definitely something that you want to wear with base layers because it will kind of cause, allergic stuff with your skin. It will, it's very rough. And you'll notice the fabric. 60% recycled wool, 40% unknown reclaimed fibers. So what they're saying is that this is all old wool. It's not virgin wool. It's been used in some form or capacity for something else, and then they've mixed it with other fibers. And those other fibers, I remember from when I originally purchased this product, was primarily fleece, right? So they sell it like it's a wool jacket, but it's really not a wool jacket. It's a fleece jacket with a heavy wool blend. And it's got cotton linings all throughout it. There's a jacket they offer with a hood that's got a cotton lining. It has cotton lining around here. It has it in the interior of the pockets. So this is one of those jackets, if you were to get soaking wet, that you wouldn't be too happy. It definitely doesn't perform. But, for one-third, one-fourth of the price, it's definitely an option for budget-friendly people to look at. I don't think that, it's not something that's going to last you forever. I've had the buttons pop off of it. But if you're looking to purchase something and get a full set of wool for, a few $100, or if you could catch it on sale like it is right now, then, you could save a little bit more money. But it's the lowest price stuff on the market and good for budget conscious people. This is a new company that I have been testing their stuff for a little while. Cora. They make completely 100% wool, yak wool, which is something I have been trying to find on the market for years. Somebody finally came up with it. I think they're in Australia or the UK. I can't remember which one, but they're a foreign company. But the product is very nice, very smooth against the skin, has supposedly 40% warmer rating than merino wool, which I don't believe. Companies can claim anything, but it seems pretty durable. It's very tough, and so I'm going to test it in the field over the next year and see how it holds up. But I just kind of wanted to go through and just kind of show y'all some of the different ones on the market, all stuff that I've owned or have seen tested in the field, and there's just a lot of great products out there to choose from. And when I push weather wool on the site, I do that because I believe it's the best of the best. And, for somebody who does it full time for a living, being out in the woods and making video content and teaching, probably more classes, survival classes, than anybody else in the world. Sigma 3 runs just a boatload of courses in comparison to everyone else. It's a product for me as a professional, somebody who, this is an investment in work clothing for me. It would be perfect for guides, outfitters, or if you just are the type of person that makes good money and only buys the best of the best, then, this is an option for you. Lots of other options out there. There's stuff in different price ranges. So, the goal of survivalgear.us is not to bring a whole bunch of cheap Chinese-made crap and put it on the site and then try to get our customers to buy the cheapest thing possible and we sell a whole bunch of units. I would rather be in a niche to where we're only selling stuff that we wholeheartedly believe in as, super high performance, and, nobody else is offering any of this stuff out here on the market. I mean, we were the first ones to ever offer war bonnet hammocks outside of the manufacturer. I liked them so much I contacted them and we got them on our website, and it's still my favorite hammock to date. And same thing with Weather Wool. I contacted them and we're basically the first people to sell their products other than Weather Wool directly, just because I believe in them so much. The margins are very, very low. But for you guys out there that have a good sized budget and want to spend your money on other stuff other than guns and Harleys and, other vices that you have, some of us really just love high-end outdoor gear, and that's me. Like, I don't own a ton of guns. I don't, spend my money on a whole lot of vices or anything along those lines, but I do have an outdoor gear obsession, and when I buy something, I tend to buy the best, and I just want to share that kind of stuff with y'all. Chew the meat, spit out the bones. If it's in your budget, great. If it's not, then man, get something that is in your budget, or get you some cheap wool blankets and throw together something that will do you until you can essentially buy something higher end. When people get into this this sport, this hobby, this passion, they tend to start with cheap equipment when they first get in. They buy a bunch of that, then they upgrade to mid-grade stuff, and then they get rid of that, and then they buy the high-grade stuff. And I try to educate my students and customers that why not just save the money, buy the highest, budget thing that you can afford, that other industry, experts or people that know their stuff, have kind of gotten behind, and kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of you, buying. And also, the whole buy once, cry once thing. If you are a consummate outdoorsman and you're going to do it for years, then you'll end up saving money purchasing this than going through a bunch of other gear in the long run. So anyways, we appreciate y'all here at Sigma 3. Y'all make all this happen. And we appreciate you share, like, and subscribe and all that kind of great stuff, and supporting Sigma 3. So check out the Weather Wool site, check out our site. We've changed all the pricing on here. We're trying to be as competitive with Amazon as we possibly can, and we'll price match on some stuff, and we'll work with you and help you on customer service best we can. So anyways, Sigma 3 out.